Long ago, in the mist-shrouded kingdom of Ekunja, a child was born beneath a blood-red moon. When the midwives cleaned the royal baby, they recoiled in horror. Sprouting from a tiny forehead were horns, sharp and cold. The king, Chief Obinna, demanded they be cut off. They did, but by dawn, the horns returned, thicker and sharper than before. Panic choked the palace walls. Seers whispered that the royal family had betrayed the ancient forest spirits, and the princess was the debt they must pay. Some wanted her dead, but Queenie Funaya defied them all. She swore her daughter would live, curse or not. Yet, rumors spread through Ekunja like wildfire. The princess with horns who could never marry, for any man who touched her would lose his soul by dawn. The first suitor, Prince Kelechi of Ogidi, arrived with a caravan of silk and spices. He was young, handsome, and arrogant enough to believe he could tame anything. On the wedding night, servants heard a scream so chilling, it froze their blood. They found Kelechi sprawled on the marble floor, his eyes wide open, mouth agape, as if he had seen something from the underworld. His body was untouched, but he was dead, his life snatched by something unseen. Fear strangled Ekunja like a vine. Suitors still came, but each met the same fate. In the dead of night, they died without a wound. Whispers turned to certainty. The princess with horns was a demon bride. They said she carried the spirit of the forest within her, jealous of any man who dared touch her. Each time, Adamma wept for the dead, her heart shattering at the thought that she was poison to any love that came her way. Haunted by guilt and loneliness, Adamma wandered the palace gardens under moonlight, her horns gleaming like ivory crowns. One night, an old witch named Mama Ebe appeared by the ancient Iroko tree. She was the last living keeper of the old forest ways. She called out to Adamma, whispering truths the priest had buried. Mama Ebe told her that her horns were not a curse but a theta, a link to the ancient forest spirits our ancestors betrayed. The spirit, a guardian of life and death, bound itself to Adamma's bloodline until the royal family restored what they had stolen. The sacred grove they cut down to build the palace. Each man who tried to claim Adamma as wife without honoring the pact would have his life stolen by the jealous spirits. Adamma's tears fell on the roots of the Iroko tree. Mama Ebe told her there was still hope. If she entered the forbidden forest and offered herself to the spirits, she might break the bond. But the journey would be perilous. The spirit realm was filled with vengeful creatures that despised human flesh. Adamma knew she could not live another day cursed to kill what she loved. She vowed to enter the forest at dawn. At dawn, with only Mama Ebe's blessing and a dagger of carved bone, Adamma slipped past the palace gates. The guards turned a blind eye. Some pitied her. Others feared to touch her. The forest loomed like a sleeping beast. Ancient trees, blocking the sun. The earth thick with songs of unseen birds and the hiss of hidden snakes. As she stepped inside, the forest swallowed her whole. Strange lights flickered between the branches. She felt eyes watching her from the dark. The path was tangled with thorns that tore her silk gown. The deeper she went, the more her horns pulsed with warmth, as if they were calling to the spirits buried within the earth. When night fell, Adamma found herself standing before a great pool of water, the heart of the forest. There, a voice echoed in her mind, ancient, cold, and mournful. It told her of her ancestors' betrayal, of the grove turned to stone and marble, of the promise broken. If she wished to break the curse, she must sacrifice her crown, her title, and perhaps her life. Kneeling at the pool, Adamma pleaded for mercy. She offered her life, her spirits, even her horns, if it would free her and the men doomed to love her. The spirit listened, its voice weaving through the rustling leaves like a sorrowful song. He did not want her life. He wanted her to restore what was lost. To free herself, Adamma must convince her father to return the sacred grove to the forest. The palace must crumble, and the royal bloodline must bow to the old ways again. Only then would her horns fall away, and her touch no longer carry death. Mama Ebe's word echoed in her ears. It is not a curse, but a death. Adamma rose from the pool, her resolve like steel. She will return to Ekunja not as a princess waiting for a prince, but as a storm that will shatter her family's greed and fear. The forest will reclaim what was stolen, and she would reclaim her life. When Adamma emerged from the forest, the people gasped. Her horns glowed with an emerald light. Her eyes gleamed with the spirit's power. Rumors raised ahead of her. Some called her a goddess. Others, a demon returned to claim vengeance. Chief Obinna trembled when his daughter stood before him, her gown torn, her hair crowned by living branches. She demanded an audience in the royal courts. Elders, priests, and warriors gathered to hear her decree. She told them the truth of the blood debt owed, of the men who died because of their grief, and of the forest rot that would never sleep. Many scoffed, but the earth beneath the palace cracked and trembled as if to answer her. Adamma gave her father a choice: return the grove, abandon the marble palace, or what the spirits reclaim it with fire and flood. Chief Obinna wept, for he knew the truth deep in his bones. He had watched too many sons die for his pride. He agreed. The grove will be replanted. The stones returned to the earth. The princess with horns became the queen who restored life to Ekunja. Years passed as the palace fell stone by stone, and trees rose where marble once gleamed. The people of Ekunja learned to revere the forest again, gathering fruits and herbs instead of gold and jewels. In the heart of the new grove, Adamma lived not as a queen on a throne but as a guardian of balance. One morning, as she bathed in the silver pool that once demanded a sacrifice, she felt a warmth at her brow. She touched her horns. They crumbled like ash in her hands. The spirit's debt was paid. Her curse was lifted. That night, a young farmer named Ekunja came to her grove, not to claim her as a bride, but to sit beside her under the iroko tree. They spoke of dreams and fears, and the life they could share. When he took her hand, no scream echoed through the night, only the songs of the forest welcoming their new beginning. Long after Adamma's tale turned to legend, mothers in Ekunja still warned their children, real love must be earned through sacrifice, truth, and courage. They spoke of the princess with horns, the girl no man dared to marry because the wrong men came for her, men who saw only gold and power, never the spirit sleeping beneath her skin. The grove she restored became sacred once more. Lovers gathered beneath the iroko tree where Adamma and Ekunja whispered promises in the moonlight, their laughter echoing with hope. Some said the forest sang when she walked by, her hair now crowned only by wildflowers, not horns. Yet on nights when the moon bled red again, elders claimed they saw shadows moving at the grove's edge, shapes like twisted horns hiding among the trees. Whispers drifted that the spirit of the forest is never truly satisfied, that death paid in blood grows roots in silence. Sometimes, the wind carried Adamma's voice, not as a queen or guardian, but as something older, something waiting. And so, the people of Ekunja keep watch whenever the moon turns crimson, because they know that the princess with horns may rise again. And this time, she may not come to beg or to plead, but to claim what was promised and what was stolen still.